that whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am.
Hello there everyone, and welcome to this video with me today, which will be on the topic of solar ascension. And I will share with you a beautiful light activation for the light body attunement and synchronization with our physical body. As you know, these are intense times, and I have been repeating this over and over again, as well as probably other guides, fellow workers of the light here on this planet. And just yesterday, as we were looking at the sun going down, a beautiful sunset, you know, after a while it was really clear, the sky was clear. We were contemplating a lot on the sun that day, and I'll share with you some of the insights that Spirit has shared with us and our own natural observations, of course. And then a beautiful light activation came through, and I've shared with you that recently I've been doing one light activation after the other, probably every single day almost. And this is probably one of my gifts that is most attuned to what I'm supposed to be doing here on this planet, because I remember a few years back I went with someone to Bosnian pyramids there, and it was just fantastic. The person kept saying, I just so love your activations, this is your gift, this is your superpower, and they just really enjoyed it. And as you know, I have many light activations on my page already shared. You can also get them in one package, or many other additional, you know, even audiobooks and everything coming through as channeling from Spirit. So what came through yesterday was a really beautiful experience, and after we were finished, we were both just like, this is beautiful, and I knew I'm meant to share this. So when I share with you, I channel in English language, as you know. When I do it myself, I do it in my own language, and it's about the energy coming through. So a little preview, I want to share something about the sun, and you know, I've talked about solar ascension before. So our path, which is taking us into more and more embracing of the feminine principle of life, is drawing forth then those solar codes of light even more. So the connection of our bodily ascension, which is occurring here on Earth now, which means our physical ascension on Earth, and the solar ascension, which we can equate to that light, liquid light streaming forth, and the connection with our light bodies. It's a unified process. And you know, the stimulation coming through the solar rays, solar flares even, but just basically through the magnetization process of the sun and the earth. And as earth is magnetizing this liquid light, then the electrifying energy comes forth. You know, we have solar winds as well as just flares. So this is like a beautiful synchronization process. So the more we are unified with the activation of our inner sacred feminine and then the masculine principles of life, this can unify. Okay, this can work in unity. So we're calling forth those codes of the solar liquid light in a unified way. They don't damage us, they're actually supporting our journey, because the vibrational alignment is always attuned. It's coming in flow, and we're ready for these codes of light. So it's very good to do this work. As you know, this ascension is a part of activating our light body, but also unifying the embodiment, you know, of that light body, which is, the more we expand it, the more it can expand our human physical form. So that's the basic process we're in. And these cosmic rays as well as the solar energies, it's all a part of basically one process of multidimensional ascension. But it is constantly streaming forth, and it is activating and rearranging these codes of light. And it's with that streaming through our chakric system. So the more we open our chakric system and we purify it with different techniques and the body work especially, then we're actually ready to embrace these codes of light, to synchronize them, to create this, not like we have so much information but it doesn't know how to connect, interlock in our body. But that information that comes in knows how to, it's like puzzle pieces that know how to go together, which parts and elements go together and which belong together actually, which is a natural process really when we just are rhythmically attuned to it. So the body work, any body work at this time, I've been stressing this for so long, is important because it increases our magnetic ability, so that the magnetization process is attuned with this electrified light that keeps on coming in, and that this liquid light is distributed properly throughout our cells and our overall body. So What else to say here? Yes, when we take this in, you know, when you are absorbing the sun, so every day it's good to charge yourself if it's possible, if the sun is shining on the sun, especially when the sunlight is at its intense maximum potency, and you will feel, and it's just like for a few minutes, they say 10 to 15 minutes a day, but it's not like something you can equate with linear time. Just try to intuitively feel when it's enough for your body. So when this light enters in, and you know, there's a lot of practices, they're saying that the best way to take this in, and especially for women, is through our yoni, right? So it's like exposing it directly to the sunlight, taking that in. We don't always have the right space, right? Especially those of us who are mostly in public places here outside. But we can try our best to do this so that it synchronizes our natural body cycles. So it enters into our sacred womb. And the womb is our, if we're women, it's our creative, it's basically the creative center, you know, of our body. So this means we're attuning the creative center, we're increasing its magnetic force, and we do that by life force activation and mastery. We do that by the work of cultivation and kundalini as well, force of life. We're learning how to rise it, we're learning how to nourish our body through it. And then when this is so, this creative center can draw forth this liquid solar light in the way that it's almost like it makes love with it. Remember a while back, it was in the end of last month, I shared this story with you, the cleansing of these old programs through the womb in my own experience, which I had through intense menstrual cramps that I started collapsing and, you know, falling down, and that intense pain. And Spirit was showing me that there was so much written, especially those of us who are sensitive and very empathic, very tuned in to all that's happening here in this earth and this planet, and even the pain of the planet itself. So through the womb we're releasing these, and we're having these contractions in a way and birthing pains, but it's also a part of releasing that pain. That pain has to be a part of the woman's menstrual cycle. And you know, it's like the earth in harmonization with the sun. It's basically one process. People who are only focused what's happening on earth, they don't understand that the solar ascension is what's actually feeding this process. They don't know how to interlock this in a more unified principle. When you understand the solar cycles and the earth cycles as one, as well as the lunar cycles, that's a part of our menstrual cycles. But then learning how to harmonize ourselves and consciously tuning into everything, like women who are consciously menstruating. So at that time they're devoting their time to this. And just today I was doing this ritual, I was sunbathing, and I was doing this yogic pose, and just, you know, feeling like I'm drawing this solar semen in a way. So it's just like liquid light codes that are coming in, and they're informing my feminine center of that creativity, so that it's imbued with new light codes, and that it's rewritten, and these old programs of pain and separation, you know, are actually rewritten anew. So I've had also other people reporting their stories of menstrual cramps and things like that, or other women, of course. Why I'm saying all this is because it's important. And I also had another message coming in before I do the activation, is that those of you who know that you're in a path of Illumin union, why we actually had to embody this sacred divine feminine principle first, really becoming it, not just knowing about it, that we are that frequency, that's our mission, but that it had to go into every stream of our body, into every cell of our body, before we can truly physically reunite. And I've been sharing this for years, that if this was your agreement, you've had to do the physical body work. So when you do the body work, if you're a woman, you do it this way. If you're a man, you're also preparing in your own way. And I can only share in terms of the body for a woman, because I am a woman. I'm sure that men are sharing, who are conscious, who are divine masculines in their way, also these principles. And what this means is that the joining of coming together can be done through this holiness and understanding of how this process operates when you're consciously engaging in your cycles, and understanding of solar and earthly ascension as one, and the body being the bridge between both, and being this divine birthing, this divine child. So when the information comes in your body, as you know, not just it moves into your sacred creative space, into your creative center, but it is also informing, it's being absorbed in your bloodstream, as you know. But then the bloodstream, as you know, it comes from the tissue in the bones, and the bones are where the information is stored. If you've been reading books from the Palladian Council of Light and the Earth book from Barbara Merciniak Dawn, sorry, yeah, I always keep adding that, must be something about it, I don't know. But anyway, if you've been reading there, they're also explaining how the information is always written in a stone and in bone, and it's true. So we're unlocking those codes, and when the bones are being informed, as you know, that's happening with the solar light increase in our bodies. We're taking it in. We're taking in the vitamin D. Our body is able to produce it. This creates the right amount of elements, even the calcium that is required for our bones, so that they have the right structure, that they're actually following the consistency of what's written in our DNA, that is the requirement of our bodies at this time in our stage of evolution, so that we're not kind of misaligned with that. So what's happening now is because the sun is changing, and you will notice this yourself, that it's not just that it's changing in general, but recently, if you've been paying attention, and now it's the summer and we're outside more, right? We're noticing these things more. You will notice that the sun and its intensity of radiation, which is basically its beaming out process of sending out this strong radiation of its liquid light, will change every day. So I've noticed that we're always having, when we go out, we say we're going to go to the beach to sunbathe a little in the morning time, in the more morning hours. It was usually very difficult to do lately, because in the early hours the sun started getting so strong so early, which wasn't really like that a few years ago. The sun started almost like burning, you know, and it was like at 10 a.m. it was like burning, and it didn't have anything to do with how warm or hot it was outside. It's just the sun, when it was shining, it was really burning. And then there's certain days when the sun is really more gently caressing the skin, and you can notice the difference in the radiation of the sun. And I've shared with you recently why these trees are all now, they're drying up, they're changing color. The pine trees are getting this all yellow here when I'm looking. It's like goldish yellow instead of green. And they're responding to this strong radiation from the sun. But how we can, again, we can nullify this process in terms of having a negative effect on our bodies if we're doing this work with the light body synchronization, with the physical body work, with the blood work as well, especially for women who are the holders of menstrual blood, which is the elixir of life, the sacred ability of giving life, birthing life into form. So we're exchanging there. For the women, we're moving our creative center in the plexus, which was from the patriarchy. That's why we're always feeling this maybe pressure in the plexus area to do something, to create. Or we're moving it once again back to the womb, where it's supposed to belong, for the woman on the planet, for the goddess to truly be in her power. That's where the power of the goddess is. For the man is different, but for the woman, this is how it's supposed to be. Okay, and if you imagine, the woman has the womb, and then the man has the plexus, right? The strength is plexus. That's more like if you imagine more by masculine tendencies to how to create, and it's also what we need, but it's not for the woman when we're embodied in our full chalice presence. It's not where our most dominant power of creation is. But when you see the interconnecting point between both, and when a man and a woman connect, you come at the point of the sacral chakra. But this now becomes, with their union, a refined sacral chakra, which will create a different triangulation. It will elevate that ability. It will essentialize it so they can come at its highest level of existence. Okay, so why this process and this activation I will share with you today is so important, because it helps to realign the light body and the human body with all the changes that have been happening on our sun. And you would say, well, we are in the solar minimum right now. How is this important? This is not about the solar flares. This is about, in general, the radiance of the sun, or its magnitude, its strength. So it's increasing his vibration. So that's what we're feeling it. We're feeling that at certain days it's so hot. I think in Mary's Ascension or Assumption Day, it was like super hot. We were doing the meditation outside, and my mom almost passed out because it was just so hot. She needed to wear her hat and all that. It was just really intense. And then the next day, it felt like it went back into its gentle mode, right? So you have to get really smart. We're needing to develop the intuitive relationship that's based on harmony with our sun, because the solar logos has all the codes for us. And when we're in this harmonious relationship, we're going to attune our earthly bodies as vessels for this light, this liquid light that keeps coming in, by refining it, by knowing how to be, when to be, you know, listening to the cycles of the sun and the earth cycles, and then our own cycles as the gateway in between, which we're these bridges. So yeah, just pay attention, observe with yourself, feel when the radiation of the sun maybe is too intense, and on those days ask yourself, how may I be served by the sun today? Okay, and when it's in its gentle mode, this is when I'm really guided to absorb it more, because it's good to draw the sun and the sunlight in your body, because it revitalizes the body, it gives it new information. It revitalizes, it purifies the blood, and even just, I like to have a combination with water, because the water constantly is purifying as well. Purifies the body, reinforms the body, and it's necessary because the refinement of blood, when the blood is purified, it means you've done the inner light work. It means that now you are existing as a very sacred creation, because your codes that are in the blood, and especially for the woman who produces menstrual blood, these codes are now so purified that when you do that process, you're maybe going to be guided to what I've shared in the giving of the life, the magic of life giving in the Sacred Holy Mother video, is you will maybe create rituals with your ceremonial or menstrual blood if you're a woman. Okay, so just get more information about that. There's so much now shared on this topic, but I want to move more now into my gift, into what I can offer through this solar activation. So this is the light body activation by merging your physical self and getting information at the core of the sun and the Akashic realm of the sun, and then being informed and raising the vibration, and then bringing that into your body, but allowing that magnification process to occur in a natural pace and rhythm. And this is what this activation serves for. If you want more, and there's other activations on my page, such as the Lumen Human DNA activation and things like that. Okay, so are you ready? I'm sure there's more to share as always, but I just go with what flows in the moment, and I leave the rest, maybe comes back at another time. So this activation has most effect when you do it by either, when there's these passing points of the sun, like the sunrise and the sunset, when the sun is at its optimum capacity, or you are at your optimum capacity, we at that time, to be attuned to it, because it's not like too strong, or for these things to meditate with its light. Just allow it to penetrate our third eye chakra. This is where the activation will spring forth or emanate from. So just have that in mind, that if you have your iPhone or something applicable, so you can be outside just looking at the sun simultaneously, not directly, but just looking towards it. This is how we did it yesterday, and the effect was really powerful. It was all gold, and it just really expanded from that point on. Okay, so let us begin now. Okay, would you center yourself in your sacred space that's most appropriate for you in this moment, and preferably connect with the sun in a physical sense as well as your inner awareness. Just feel the presence of the sun. Feel its importance in the ascension process, in the physical ascension process of Earth and your body. Now take a deep, relaxing breath, and imagine this golden light, all-permeating light of the sun that's now shining on your third eye. Move into your third eye chakra. If you want to, you can also tap gently on it a few times, just to stimulate it, to bring it into your focus and awareness. You can also rub it in the counterclockwise position. Just create a movement there. Create a swirling movement in your third eye chakra. Now imagine that within you lives this golden being of light. This beautiful, almost like plasmic being that lives within your body, that will now take a journey towards the core of the sun. And now as you take a deep breath in, you're getting aware of the presence of this light being within you. which you have already brought into your body during this process you're in, during your ascending process. Now call forth this being and imagine this being now being called by you, and you're calling it here from the awareness in your third eye chakra. Now imagine this being concentrating its light and focus in your third eye. And feel, because you have created this awareness of the sun, feel the call, and by this call, feel a greater and greater magnitude of wanting to merge as one with the sun. Now imagine that this being of light concentrates its light to such degree that this being now shrinks and lives here in your third eye, exists here for a while. Just pull it here with your focus, because you can do that at any time. And now with your in-breath, crave the sacred calling and feel the calling of the sun. And with your out-breath, now send this being with a powerful thrust of light through the cord of light, this golden cord of light, out of your third eye with your strong out-breath. Send it out. See it exiting out. And as it does so, it once again feels freed up, feels more loose, wider. And suddenly it feels this pull towards the sun, and it starts to travel towards the sun. Now take a moment to just feel this journey, that the natural longing to, with that intent and through that invocation, this being of light is traveling now through the sun naturally, rhythmically, organically. You feel now, as you're traveling through this golden cord of light, that the sun is getting closer and closer, which means that at a certain point, when you locate it, it no longer looks like a golden orb of light with a white halo. All of a sudden, you're so close to the sun that it looks like a giant honeycomb, and you're coming and stepping into it like you are entering a sunflower blossom, with all the seeds and their beautiful counterparts, and many compartments where these counterparts, these seeds, are located in. Now, as you're being pulled in towards the center of the sun, you're traveling towards a special chamber of light that is chosen specifically for you. It is the chamber of light with the right Akashic memory and information of light that you have chosen for this journey of your personal ascension. So you see yourself now with this being of light traveling into this honeycomb-like formation and being drawn to a specific location point, which is your own chamber of light, your own room, so to say. As you do so, you finally see yourself falling there, settling there in that chamber of light. And when you look around, just feel the presence and be aware of this room. And as you are aware of this room, you suddenly see and feel the presence of the solar masters, the solar logos, and the masters that are assisting your ascension journey. Now they are asking you at this moment to come next to this table, which looks like a rotating disc. They ask you to come here in order to refuel, revitalize, and increase your vibration so that you may be more aligned with what is happening here vibrationally. Now you go onto this golden rotating disc and you imagine yourself beginning to spin. Now as you're spinning, you're feeling the magnitude of the solar presence assisting the rising of your vibration. And you feel this whirlpool of energy forming, creating a natural movement, which is not too much for you because it is designed to specifically align with your vibration in the moment. And with the vibration, you are meant to be increased into or triggered into through this movement of the disc. When this process is finished, you will naturally know and feel so. And even with your consciousness, you can always move yourself to the space-time point where this process is already completed. So move yourself now with your awareness to a process, to a point in time where this is already complete. Now, as you do so, you find yourself in this chamber yet again, communing with the masters who are overlighted by the presence of the solar logos. Now you are given a book, something that looks like a book, and you are asked to put this book in front of your face so that again you can absorb what's in it through your third eye. You are still a light being, and yet you are asked to absorb this information of light that has been given to you for the solar ascension expansion, and that which you can bring forth back with you to earth. And now as you see the opening of this book taking place, you see that this information, it is not written in terms of the written word. It is not a linear language, but it is designed through specific shapes and symbols, geometric forms of light, patterns of light, that are serving your ascension through your highest attainment that's possible at this time that you have chosen on a soul level. This is not a process your conscious mind can or will understand, because it bypasses this capacity and it moves directly into the understanding of the higher mind. Therefore, you are absorbing now this information, and you're seeing these geometric patterns of light streaming forth into you through your third eye, through your brow area. And as a light being, you are so rejuvenated when you're taking all this in, and you're filled with light, and you feel like these photons of light are traveling, like tiny sparks of light traveling and moving. There's great movement taking place at this time. So you're just for a while observing this process as you're taking in that which is for your highest good. It is a knowledge of solar ascension and earthly ascension existing as one, and it moves through you as patterns of light, geometric shapes and forms, symbols that your soul understands and your DNA of the light can encode, and it does so. You also receive all the information for the upgrade of your nervous system, for the evolution of your physical human body, and it's all now being taken and absorbed into your being, and you're very joyful as you're embracing and enjoying this process. When this process is complete, and once again you will know that this is so by the feeling in your being of light, or you can move along as a being of consciousness to the point in time when this process is already complete. When you do that, you feel a sudden expansion of your being. You feel like you are expanding. And you feel that you are now asked to take back that expansion to the body that awaits for you as the sacred vessel that is the provider for this ascension journey and process. Now, once again, as you have that thought in your awareness, you feel now the magnetic call and the pull of Mother Earth and your physical body that's located there on Earth, that's being held by its embodiment. Now again, once again, very naturally, organically, and rhythmically, you're beginning to move back through this golden cord of light. And as you're traveling now, you're seeing this honeycomb-like formation of the sun with its brilliant luminescent photonic light and all the sparks of light that are constantly beaming and streaming back and forth. It's a powerhouse, a storage of information. You're feeling a sense of gratitude and completion. And with that feeling, you're now magnetically being drawn back to Earth. As you're traveling, as you're moving forth, just by this natural pull of life force, you're feeling the sun once again beginning to look more and more like a glowing orb of light, a golden ball of light with a white halo. And the angels of the sun accompany you back to your journey on Earth. Now you locate your physical vehicle. The angels assist you with that process. And now you see once again this beautiful light being that you are entering through the brow area, through the third eye of your physical body, the body that belongs to you, the body that is so fully merged with love with you. And you feel its warmth and heartbeat and the bloodstream and the unity of all the cells. And with great joy, an exuberant feeling of enthusiasm, you're entering now again this body. And when you do so, you're now wanting to align, as you were in the beginning, with this body. But what you're now noticing is that you have expanded because of this information, this knowledge you have received. And now you're seeing, because you have done so, there is an outward moving glow that you are creating around the whole body. Now you see this body in a golden egg formation, which is the egg of creation, this beautiful auric design, this etheric imprint. And you, as an expanded version of the essence itself, as you're moving into this body, your desire is to expand this body with your own expansion of the body of light. What you now see is these outer merges that you have created because you were simply too expanded now for this body. These outer luminescent glows are calling the body to also expand. And with this decree, you now inform all of the cells in this body to expand, to work towards this expansion and the evolution of the physical body and all that makes up this physical body. With this awareness, you are sending the cells information directly from your illumined DNA and letting them know that now you're getting stronger. Your bone structure is getting stronger. Your blood stream is more purified. Your organs are revitalized. Your functions of the body are synchronized. Your chakras are spinning the greater vibrational frequency attunement. Your nervous system is interconnected in this great cosmic web that is seated in this golden egg of creation that you are now in this physical body located in or seated in. As you have decreed this to every cell in your body, you take a deep in-breath. And with the out-breath, simply just inform now every particle, atomic, subatomic, within every cell that this is so. That this is your new level of expansion and beingness of your physical embodiment. And with that, you are now naturally again drawing the physical body to expand, to align with its new borderlines, which are increased, expanded. This expanded version of the self that aligns with these new informational codes, sacred patterns of light, geometric shapes and forms of the illumined design and blueprint. You're now completely aware that this process is happening naturally, organically, to the capabilities of the body that are just in flow. There is no rush. You know there's always a space and time for the integration process. And you now fuel love into this process. You're breathing love into this process. And you might feel and state in this moment, I am love remembering itself. I am the illumined design of divine perfection. I exist in my radiant form of light. My liquid being of light, my physical body are one. My physical body is a direct translation of my light body. My energy bodies are all cooperating in unison and harmony. And solar and physical ascension are one. I am one with the solar logos, the planetary light and structure, blueprint, and my own light body, which carries all the codes of illumined blueprint for me and my own personal ascension journey. I trust spirit, which is the vertical component of life, and I trust life, the horizontal. I trust my divine feminine self. I trust my divine masculine self, for they are one. I trust the triangulation process that unfolds between the two. I trust that with this triangulation process, new strands of DNA are being woven into my divine blueprint and design for my current evolution of this physical body. I understand that I do not really have to logically understand that this is a natural process that I'm already aligned with. Everything I do is a consequence, a part of this. It is not separate from this process. I live and breathe in harmony. I'm one with the harmonious flow of life. I know my own creation cycles, and I'm one with the cycles of the sun, of the earth, and all the other consciousnesses in the solar system and beyond. I'm one with the stellar consciousness and with the consciousness of the galactic pulse of light. I'm one with the universal stream of life and the multiversal presence of all. And now you feel a need, a tendency to pull a sound Om, which is the sound of divine perfection and wholeness, through your body, through every cell. You're now imprinting the sacred sound of Om with full lungs and with vibration. Take a deep breath. My every cell is the living manifestation of the sacred sound of Om, the sound of creation and its perfection. I'm intricately connected with all life. There is no separation between me and life. I am in complete peace, and I trust the integration process that is taking place, that's being birthed within my body, right here and now. And when you open your eyes and you feel really centered in your physical body, you can even send roots into earth. Allow some downtime to take place. Perhaps put on a song. I give you an idea that maybe listen to a song when you're integrating, maybe lying down for a while even, or just sitting in a meditative lotus pose. Just maybe still if you are with the sun, looking at the sun, allowing it to blaze through you in its infinite wisdom and light and beautiful feeling of being nourished. And listen to a song maybe perhaps that sings about the sun. I have 3 examples for you. The song we've listened to is Enigma, Following the Sun. Beautiful song. The song also, number 2, which I've listened to a lot lately, is from a French artist. Her name is Françoise Hardy, something like that. It's called Soleil je t'aime, Sun I love you, something like that. She was very famous back in the days, French singer. And the third one is, what's it called? Oh, the band, I forgot. The song is called Soleil, Soleil. Do you know, you probably know that song. It was in commercials and everywhere. It goes like, ooh, soleil, 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 soleil. No, no, no. I love that song. I just thought of it today. It's a beautiful song. I don't know the artist right now. We've checked it out, but it's slipped my mind right now. So I hope you enjoy this process. You can do it many other times if you're called so, until you feel that alignment of your physical body in harmony with the light body, because it keeps on expanding and getting new codes. So we keep on aligning with it and again and again. So this is why sometimes in our physical body it feels hard and a little like the body's a little too little for all that we are, you know. Sometimes the body feels like, ugh, it needs to stretch out. Sometimes we feel like we're captives in our own bodies, like we're trapped in it. This is where this activation is really recommended to serve this process, when we feel like the body is too tight, so that we keep on expanding the borderlines, and then the body will follow. The body, the physicality always follows spirit. It's how it is. It's how all life is structured. You can find other activations on my webpage, other services, and ways to support the work as well. I hope you enjoy this, and take care until next time, with always so much love, wisdom, and power. Enjoy this beautiful ascension and the sun. So my sweet beloveds, I will also be reading you a little bit from the book Earth, Pleiadian Keys to the Living Library, because just as I finished recording my video a few days after, I actually discovered topics about the sun in the book, which really deeply referred to the activation we just did and to the knowledge behind the sun. So let us begin with a few paragraphs. I want to remind you, this is not an advertisement for the book. This is kind of like a recommendation, and you know, if you're guided to the book, it's really well desired as well. The sun is the governor of your solar system, and it is the seat of intelligence that rules this particular locale you currently occupy. The sun reaches into your domain and reads the vibrations as it touches your skin. It is intimately connected with every aspect of life as you know it. It is a force of intelligence that fuels your very existence and creates the environment under which you can evolve. The sun is very interested in your evolution, for as you evolve, you feed everything that you do back to the sun as it touches you. In many cultures, the sun is revered as the intelligent force that governs this world like a god. You would be amazed at who and what dwells in the sun. The sun is an illusion. Highly advanced worlds can disguise themselves as suns to protect themselves from invasion and penetration through the force of light. For some, the sun is a place of great learning, while for others, it is simply an initiation they pass through to get beyond and behind the sun. It is not, as your scientists say, simply burning forms of gas. So, the sun and the moon are luminaries within your system by which you're most profoundly influenced and affected. The sun generates its own light. The sun in turn illuminates the moon. The moon is a satellite of the sun, orbiting as a computer around Earth, built and maintained by many generations of gods. Heavenly bodies are constructed in the shapes of asteroids, moons, and planets, and it is through these luminaries that rays of intelligence, radio waves, and gamma rays are transmitted from star to sun and sent to Earth. It is through these rays that your actions are also read and taken back into the sun, the moon, and the beaming system, in this case, the Pleiades. When you're able to move to another location and view the solar system and sky from a different point of reference, you will see that Earth and the stars and everything shift quite dramatically. One of the systems with which you rotate is the system of the Pleiades, whose central sun is called Alcyon. Your solar system is located on the fringe of the galactic spiral. So now imagine that there's many suns that formulate within regions and regions of the different parts in space. So you have many central suns, and we have many galaxies. So it is through the suns that all worlds are governed. Growth is oriented towards these suns. It is your sun that allows you to have light, and light is what permits you to see reflections of yourselves in the outside world. Without light, what could you mirror for yourselves, and what would you see? The sun reads its creations and in turn feeds the creations what they need. So when you carry love of yourselves on Earth, the solar rays completely understand the consciousness you carry. When you carry fear of Earth, the solar rays understand and they nudge you into those experiences. Think about the consciousness of the sun as it peeks out on its domain. It touches all points with varying cycles of light, checking to see what is happening in every nook and cranny. It feels and brings the energy back to itself, and then makes decisions about its own expression. The sun is changing. The sun and its many forces are brewing phenomenal shifts and sending them to every aspect of your being. There are plans within plans within plans. Understand that always the highest plan of opportunity is available to you if you so choose. There will be a tremendous increase in solar flares. The energy of the sun will burst and burn, sending out massive amounts of gamma rays. Sometimes the sun is quite docile and gentle like a little baby. Other times it has volatile periods with activity like a million volcanoes going off at once. Yet, if you have the appropriately tuned consciousness, you can move right through this activity into the domain that exists behind that particular illusion. So as the rays from the sun change, activated by the consciousness of the inhabitants of Earth, and as the sun releases solar bursts, the polar regions of Earth are affected. The flares sent forth are like atomic explosions or jolts of electricity that go millions of miles deep into space. Earth's poles, which are magnets, catch the energy. They grab energy that comes from space to planet. Because of the magnetic force, they arc it either around the equator or inward to the core of Earth. Each pole grabs the solar energy, drives it in, and creates a huge cylinder of vibrational energy. As that vibrational energy jolts and jiggles to fit, it has to align with the energy grid work of Earth that is connected from the poles. This grid work is decreed by you, and to some extent all energies merging or emerging through your version of Earth conform to this grid of beliefs. Sorry, it's quite windy here right now, so it's a little shaky. So in order to avoid complete destruction, there will be a shift. The poles will move someplace else. There will only be a minor shift from a space perspective, but from your perspective, however, the shift will seem quite major. Only those with uncluttered consciousness will be able to house this energy in their bodies, and that's why it was important to do the light body exercise we did, and to keep tuning into the solar consciousness, to connect with it from the causal levels to, of course, the physical levels and all the bodies in between. So this is important too. Each time you expose yourself to these fantastic doses of energy, you increase your intuition, your psychic potential, and your ability to decode the DNA. All of these abilities are magnified thousands and thousands of times. This is part of the way that the sun is responding to who you are, so trust that the sun reads you. Have honest, open, and agreeable energy with the sun and with the all elements around you. So think of the sun as a gigantic magnet. Its solar flares send out tentacles to reach and grab for the cosmic rays. The cosmic rays are solar flares from a central sun at a distant place in your galaxy. So there are those who understand that there's a mutation going on in humanity at this time, and that the sun is responsible for much of it. So they're actually counteracting this mutation by spreading fear, as you know, about the sun. So there has been a conspiracy against the sun, as if the designers of your world were flawed and made a mistake when they put the sun in your solar system. As if, you know. So with the difference in the spectrum of energies, and of course also we have now, what are these called? Ozone holes that are increasing, but they used to be much larger, because we are receiving automatically new waves of energy through these holes, that we're allowed a greater capacity. So when the difference in spectrum is experienced by the masses, a chemical response takes place deep inside the human body, which begins to change. The human body is affected by the radiated light. In actuality, the radiation of this light alters the body on a subatomic level. Those of you who understand this are able to be in balance with this natural shift. The main force of any system dwells within the sun of that system, where the sun's collective consciousness is demonstrated by its solar rays. So that light which you are earning individually then creates, by the very essence of its existence, a fusion with similar energies within the mass consciousness that will appear to others as a star or a sun. Your planet will radiate its shift in consciousness and awareness of spirit as light. That is how Earth will become a star on the horizon of other worlds. That in itself will magnetize other worlds to you. They will read the energy of your Earth light, and they will know who you are. And that is exactly what we were doing in the light activation, to increase this awareness of what's happening on the subtle planes of your solar body and other bodies that are all different levels and layers that interconnect this solar body and the fusion with it, with your physical body. So the more tuned in you are, by doing these exercises and light activations, then you're opening higher spaces for channeling energy this way, and you're bringing that higher potential to yourself and making it possible for others, and bringing it as a potential for the masses as well, as they're also evolving and unfolding and undulating in their own way. So yeah, that's about it for this time and expression, what wanted to come through today. And starting on the landing of the light body process. The evolution that you are now going through involves the process of building and integrating a light body. Your light body must be tempered, exercised, and stretched to gently bring it into its own awareness. Clarity concerning who you intend to be in your reality is one of the prime keys in building your light body. Your light body knows that it creates through thought and links you to the fabric of creation. Through your light body, timelines open, accessing multi-layered dramas, and your challenges gather force as you face a seemingly uncharted yet unfamiliar territory. You are connected to all of existence, and your evolutionary leap is to make sense of this new awareness and put it to use in your now. Your task is to translate your purpose into your body and onto earth. This purpose activates a reordering on many layers of existence, all sharing the same now. Pivotal to exploring various aspects of reality is the essential component of you taking a deeper look at your vehicle, your physical body. The building of your light body allows less trapped matter to combine as light and become you. This offers you freer expression and allows you to seek your source. You will literally see changes in your body. It will become more vital, more beautiful, stronger, and more capable of performing events. It will become the processor of multitudes of information. Hold your vision and allow your light body to add a meaningful purpose to all that you do. If your body works together inside yourself, then it is much easier for you as an individual to work with others outside yourself. So as you know, as mentioned, within your body lies a force of power called Kundalini, a serpent-like energy that dwells at the base of your spine. Acknowledging and calling this force forward facilitates the merging and bundling of your light body. This force also helps maintain your stability and groundedness with the increased electromagnetic shifts. Traditionally, Kundalini uncoils itself and electrifies your body at around 40 years of age. By this time, you're considered mature enough to house this kind of power. For most people, the power is so profound that they go downhill from there and begin to age rather than rejuvenate and put the great creative electrical force to use. When you have a Kundalini experience, it may feel like an intense concentration of energy in the sacrum area at the base of your spine. Each of you has the potential to have the body you want. You can regenerate the cells of your being by remapping them, sending them a different plan or alternative route. As you do this, your body and experience will follow suit. As cosmic energy comes onto the earth plane, there are millions of you who are now increasing the opportunities to reinterpret what Kundalini can do. A tremendous and radical change is taking place within your physical body, and we cannot emphasize this enough. You are each guided, so to avoid burnout, listen to what's inside you. Too much new information too quickly without you taking the time to slow down and integrate it can lead to overload for your adjusting psyche. So leave a space for memory to come into. Utilizing nature is one of the best ways to get in touch with remembering. Sitting out in nature, watching nature, being in idleness, being in the now, and letting the now expand into the ongoing, spontaneous, synchronistic moment, the ever-expanding now. You're being reorganized on a subatomic level. Within your body, the light-encoded filaments, fine, thread-like fibers, are subtle forms of energy that connect everything together. These gossamer threads are reorganized in your body through stimulation by rays and photons that come to the planet, bringing cosmic energy. They are reorganized to rejuvenate your body when you drink pure, clean water. They're particularly activated through the process of oxygenation and deep breathing. There are also ways of oxygenating yourself by ingesting herbs known as blood purifiers. When you purify your blood, it is able to carry a greater amount of oxygen. The reorganization of fibers on a cellular level builds and grows, and the fibers invigorate your body in a variety of ways. All this involves activating your brain. You have the keys and the codes to open up the rest of that dormant area. The endocrine system will evolve as DNA evolves, producing chemical substances that are combinations of intelligent geometric shapes. These shapes will exist all over the body and will not be localized simply in the brain. Everything will happen simultaneously. Your hypothalamus is going to move you to a new shoreline of your being, a new domain that will be chemically induced. This is what the endocrine system does. It introduces various chemicals into your body without you taking anything, without you ingesting any substances at all. The chemicals will simply begin to secrete themselves and influence the very way that you perceive and interpret reality. As humans, you have been kept ignorant of how many appendages you have that lock you into other realities. You have no idea of the intelligent sources in other realities that tune into you and affect you. There is glorious information that is desperately needed in existence, and it is stored here on Earth. As the reorganization of light takes place on Earth, there will be a mass merging of beings who are very benevolent, very uplifting, and very loving. They will come through and operate out of your bodies. You will still maintain your own integrity and your own identity. However, they will blend with you as we blend with our vehicle. They will be able to access the codes and master numbers that you house inside your bodies. Human beings, as library cards, access unique information that is very different from the information experienced through the insect, plant, or animal kingdoms. The living library was designed to be merged with, and by actually emerging through its life forms, other beings can experience a version of Earth's reality and gather information. The intent of what is sought results in the choice of the merging that is made. The codes contain formulas for replicating life. Many safeguards were designed so that the most important data stored in humans exists and is accessed only through a certain state of consciousness. Without that, the formulas do not even present themselves into being. The formulas exist through a preservation of a high level of consciousness within humans. If quality of life and existence is tampered with, humans are not able to produce the formulas. Be more in charge. There are many things that are necessary to prepare your body to accommodate awareness of multidimensional energy. Yoga, stretching, breathing, and algae and herbs to supplement your body create room for energy to operate. A body is needed that accommodates the vibration of multidimensional intelligence, so perhaps some of your work involves this preparation. Yes, and I hope that the light activation that I provided will assist this merging with the light body process as well for you, however you're guided yourself. And don't forget, other means and resources are always calling out for us. Like I said, the body work is deeply important, as well as not giving so much power to forms of manipulation and control of energy on this planet, such as you know, I've already talked about this since the beginning of the year, the artificial intelligence year, the increase of that, and technologies that are actually, you know, like 5G, the chemtrail spraying, which is ongoing for many, many years now, even decades. And some people believe that they're getting distorted in their human bodies because of that. But the problem is when you give this power, you're actually, you know, you are telling your cells that this also affects you. So you can be aware of it, but truly you are the one who protects and programs your cells. You're the one who is the master of every single cell and the particle in your body through your consciousness. So how this consciousness responds to you is the way you view life through reality. So your awareness impacts that. So please know that. Don't give these things power, that they're actually altering your genome. Become the sovereign genome activator and infuser as a great divine alchemist that you truly are. And that may so be it, and so it is.